What is up, Waffle Gang? I do hope you are well. My name is Mark, and today we're checking out some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along a timeline below, so please feel free to use them. But if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, that subscribe, and maybe that notification bell too, as it all really helps out our channel. And yesterday we did have some membership updates. We had William Pedersen join us, and we also had 30 Keita Green with the rejoin. Thank you so much for your support, and to each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day to be here. Spending 20 minutes listening to a story or two makes a huge difference to this channel, and I thank you for that. So thank you so much. Keep being awesome, and let's crack on with today's stories. Much love, guys. And our first story comes from Throwaway Assist. Am I the arsehole? Am I the arsehole for refusing to fire my new administrative assistant because my wife feels insecure? Around 2 months ago, I, 52 male, finally bit the bullet and spent some of my lab budget to bring on board an administrative assistant. It's been wonderful. As I got older, I received more administrative responsibilities, and I never realised how much of my day was spent scheduling, answering emails, and coordinating events. My new hire has done a fantastic job getting those tasks off my plate. She is a 22-year-old recent college graduate, which I am only mentioning because it becomes relevant. About 2 weeks ago, we had a bi-monthly lab lunch. We took a picture, captioned it, welcoming our new administrative staff member to the team, and posted it to our lab Instagram. Apparently, this led to all my wife's friends, including my sister-in-law, seeing the picture. They proceeded to give my wife unsolicited advice about how this was a sign I'm considering cheating on her, which I have never done and will never do. They argued that she should ask me to fire my new hire to test my integrity. I refused because that's fucking ridiculous and likely illegal. Now, my wife's friends are convinced I'm some predatory scumbag, and my wife is angry that I, quote, don't respect her enough to stop people from thinking I'm throwing her away. This might be where I'm an arsehole. I responded that I think the real problem is that she's friends with a bunch of crazy divorcees, which I initially regretted saying because my sister-in-law's marriage had fallen apart last year. However, as my sympathy has waned, I'm starting to double down on as an accurate characterization of those morons. I'm making this post because I think the whole situation is absolutely absurd, and for the first time in our marriage, I can't see how her side is reasonable in any way. I literally get to spend more time with my wife now that I don't spend an hour answering emails before bed every night. I don't see how this is a me problem or even an us problem at this point.
I don't think I've done anything even slightly inappropriate.
And this is entirely her problem. Maybe I'm completely off base, but I need a third-party perspective.
Yeah, going down to fire this lady because of your wife is insecure about your relationship would be a big no-no, and let's face it, it would get you sued into the ground because of it. So your wife is the main problem here. She's the one with the insecurity issues. And of course, your sister-in-law and the friends too, they're all assholes for egging this kind of behavior on and even starting it up if they were the ones that initially caused all this. Sit down, have an honest, open discussion, tell her how much you love her, and hopefully that should sort things out. And if it doesn't, then there's deeper problems at play, right? But AWY says, not the arsehole, and quotes, don't respect her enough to stop people thinking I'm throwing her away. Then she says she doesn't respect you enough to stop people thinking from you're throwing her away. And Drowning in Spam says, not the arsehole, if you're in the US, firing a secretary based on her looks is going to get you sued. It's called sexual discrimination. Tell your wife that you refuse to base your hiring decisions on her insecurities. If she doesn't trust you, then your relationship is already on the rocks, especially since you're already spending more time with your wife since hiring this person. And Mama says, not the arsehole, but I think you should consider having an honest discussion with your wife about your marriage. She's clearly struggling with something, and this is how it's coming out, albeit at the encouragement of her weird friends. I don't think you've done anything wrong, and your wife is definitely in the wrong, but you should try to find out what's going on. And Hot Audience says, I think this behavior from your wife is a sign that you guys need therapy. Even if your marriage is perfect, you're entering a different stage of your lives and have likely been together for a while. As her peers' marriages fall apart, she may be feeling insecure or questioning the strength of yours. All things to discuss in therapy. And no, you should not fire your assistant. That would be unethical. Not the arsehole. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation, and what would you do if you was faced with it? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from Grey Blanket. Am I the arsehole for telling my family the truth about the things my sister has done, causing her to be shunned? The whole thing is a train wreck, so please bear with me. My dad passed away in December. I was his caretaker. My sister kept promising that she would move into the house and help me take care of our dad, as he is very ill and needed to have someone with him at all times. Both his physical and mental health were deteriorating. She never helped out. It got to the point that I was severely depressed and not doing well mentally. My doctor told me I needed a break as I was suffering from caretaker fatigue and that my mental state would only get worse without help. I begged my sister to help me with our dad because I couldn't do it alone anymore. That was roughly 6 months before he passed away. She came over for 20 minutes to talk to him, then left with his bank card to go grocery shopping. Sure, she bought him the groceries on his list, but what she hid from him on a separate receipt was her buying alcohol for herself on his card as well. Due to his mental state, he never noticed the extra missing money on his account. I ended up taking over my dad's finances and keeping a budget to make sure every penny was accounted for. I also set every bill in his name up for autopay so he wouldn't have to fumble around with his checkbook anymore. All of this was suggested by my dad himself, as he knew his mind wouldn't be there much longer and didn't want to stress over making payments on time. So skipping forward to now, I just found out that my sister not only closed his account but also took all the money in his accounts before they could go through probate. My hair is literally falling out because over 8k is owed for bills that were supposed to be paid, and I'm scared of being kicked out of the house for nothing being paid for. My phone has been shut off twice now, and when I call the phone company for help switching my phone bill into my name, I'm told I need the proper paperwork to switch accounts. Unfortunately, my sister has the only copies of the documents I need, and when I make calls to get my own, I'm told I'm not authorized to obtain those copies. I have no idea what that means. Through this whole process, my sister has been repeatedly telling me not to tell our extended family of the passing of our father until everything is settled. She kept telling me that she would take care of me and help me with anything I need. I told her that I was running out of money and I had no food in the house. She ghosted me and has since been ignoring my attempts at contact. I decided no longer to stay silent and told my relatives what has been going on. Everyone is pissed off with my sister. After causing things to go nuclear, I am feeling like I'm the arsehole. Maybe I shouldn't have gone this far, but I was, and still am very mad at her. Edit, my brother and I have an appointment with a lawyer on Tuesday to have this taken care of. So let me get this right, was literally robbing your father who was dying in his bed, I assume, and you're questioning yourself whether you're the arsehole in this situation. Of course you're not the arsehole. It's going to be part of that fatigue that's on your mind that's causing all these questions in your head at the minute, and you're absolutely not the arsehole to get the family involved. Just read the room with the rest of your family. They're all mad at your sister for what she's doing. She's a despicable person. Who robs a family member when they're on their deathbed? Who does that, man? Absolutely not the arsehole. But El Burcho says, not the arsehole. Your sister robbed a dying man. How could you possibly be the arsehole for calling her out on her bullshit? If anything, you'd be the arsehole if you didn't escalate this to the police. And OP replies, I've been an emotional wreck this past year, and I've second guessed every decision I've made. Part of me feels guilty that she's catching so much heat, and I don't know why. And Nakala says, not the arsehole, this is the easiest one ever. File police report, lawyer, there, done. Mammoth says, not the arsehole, she is getting heat for the situation purely because of her own actions. Incredibly despicable actions. I cannot imagine anyone doing, I might add. She's an awful human being, and at this rate, you and your lawyer need to discuss potentially having her barred from receiving anything from your dad's estate. An unlucky profession 41 says, not the arsehole, she stole from your father. Using money from his accounts before the estate can be probated is stealing. You did the right thing because quite frankly, you're short on options. I'd suggest seeking legal counsel about this. And Matag says, I'm so sorry you're in this position. It's clear that you're not the arsehole. What your sister did was vile and she stole everything she could from your father so that she had everything before he passed. I hope you can get a lawyer who can get everything sorted out ASAP. Best wishes. Now, I turn this one to you guys. Do you think everything has been summed up in those comments about getting a lawyer, or is there anything else OP could do in this situation? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Now, our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for telling my wife to calm down because my mum's just trying to help? My wife, 35 female, gave birth to our son a couple of months ago. Since then, she's become zombie-like in personality and appearance. I found out for the first time how bad it is to be up close to somebody who is out in the Arizona heat doing errands and chores who doesn't shower for 3 days straight. When I try to talk to her, she's always passed out in front of the TV or by our son's crib and crying. When we try to go out in public together or want to go for a swim in our pool, she always wears very much laundry day clothes. And even when we're by the pool, she just dips her feet in and wears a 10-year-old sweatshirt over a swimsuit. It's really killed the love, tolerance and attraction between us. My mum visited us today and my wife was wearing boxy old clothes that have all kinds of fluids on them. My mum said that the baby was sleeping right now and suggested my wife go take a shower and get into clothes that are more pleasant. My wife said she's fine. My mum patted her on the back and said that her hair is so stringy and that can't be good for anyone, and asked when the last time she had a shower. She said she used to always smell so good and be dressed so well and that she could make more of an effort. She ended with, "Taking care of your appearance doesn't stop when the kids come." My wife got exceptionally upset and accused me of side-eyeing her stretch marks when she wore her old dresses. She then left the room and said she was taking a nap. My mum said she sees she's not welcome right now, and I told her not to be ridiculous and this was my house too and I wanted her to stay. I went to where my wife was and told her that my mum wasn't exactly wrong in noticing how she's basically given up on herself and that she used to love doing and styling her previously long and shiny hair and getting compliments for it. I also said that my mum was almost ready to leave and we should never make my mum feel unwelcome when she's just trying to be helpful. My wife snapped that my mum could do whatever she wants and then started crying, saying she wanted a nap. Am I the arsehole? Oh god, man, how can you not So wife gives birth a couple of months ago. She's probably still going a lot in terms of healing herself and hormones and all that kind of stuff at the same time. And I try not to make these claims because sometimes it can be a dangerous game, but it sounds like postpartum depression. That's what it sounds like. I'm not saying it is, but it sounds like to me. Or at least some form of depression here. So stop going on about a bloody appearance and get her some professional help. End of. And we'll start off with Bulky Bear saying, "Info. Is this not your child? Why are you not helping to the point she's reached a breaking point? Why are you more concerned with getting laid than your wife's well-being? Why would a woman who gave birth, is clearly doing all the work, want to sleep with a boy who clearly cares more about his mother? You're the arsehole so much. Time to cut the umbilical cord wrapped around your junk." And Think Supergirl says, "You're the arsehole. Ever heard of postpartum depression? You need serious therapy. Your wife just created a life and you and your mum are so fixed on her appearance, but not what's causing her to be like that. Get help." And Monster says, "You're the arsehole. Tell your mum the visit is over. Your wife sounds severely depressed. Having her dress and smell in a way that you like is not the priority. Be a decent man and support your wife and get her help, for fuck's sake." And Trick Invite says, "You're the arsehole. She just had a baby. Why is she doing all the chores and shopping?" And Atermis says, "You're the arsehole. Please encourage your wife to speak with a professional because this sounds like postnatal depression. Also, do you have any idea how draining it is to look after a newborn baby? Appearance isn't exactly top of the priority list. How much do you parent your child, or is it that you work, therefore all care is your wife's responsibility? It sounds like you have no idea how tough this time is for a new mum." Now, I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story comes from a throwaway account. "Am I the arsehole for asking my 23 male girlfriend, 22 female, to take down a painting of her naked body from her living room? My girlfriend has been painting since high school, and she loves painting the human body. Every now and then, she enjoys painting her nudes, some of them detailed, some of them kinda like a silhouette, if that makes sense. Recently she painted a full body silhouette nude and she was so happy with it that she wanted to frame it, so I went and ordered a fairly large frame for the canvas and sent it to her house. And a few days later, I went to her house and the painting was hanging up in the living room. My girlfriend doesn't really have anyone over because of COVID, except for her family to watch her 1-year-old daughter, and her roommate often has her boyfriend over. I told her the painting looked amazing, but it's kind of awkward seeing my girlfriend's nudes hanging up on the wall, and thought it was weirder due to the fact she has a child living in her home. She says she doesn't think it's weird and thinks it's empowering, and that her roommate is fine with it, and it's not like it's her actual nudes on the wall, but it literally is. I told her I'm not really comfortable with other people seeing my girlfriend's body like this, and she got upset and told me it isn't about my comfort, but about, once again, being empowering, and then she said she wanted to put up more paintings and decor in her home. I felt like she was being a bit of an arsehole for the comments she made, but she doesn't think she's done anything wrong. She thinks I'm being controlling, and she thinks I'm not letting her freely express herself. She even called it toxic behaviour, and I started to feel a little bad when she said this. Am I wrong for not being okay with this painting up? Now let's get the basics out of the way first. This is her house, her roommate's absolutely fine with it, so it's not making anyone uncomfortable, apart from you apparently, and it's also her body too. And let's just go over the painting itself. It's a fucking silhouette, man. You can't see nothing. I'm assuming because it's a silhouette, all you can see is the shape of the body. And I mean, come on, man. Oh, dear. The first comment is from, come on, man. You're the arsehole. It's her painting of her body in her house. Oh, I love that name. And Lemon Paloma says, you're the arsehole. She's right. You're being controlling. And For Lark 90 says, you're the arsehole, actually said, my girlfriend's body, but your whole post reeks of ownership. It's not your choice, you need to make your peace with that. And Slime Law says, you're the arsehole completely. Maybe you should try having a deeper conversation with her about empowerment and how the naked body isn't inherently sexual. If I was with someone and they pulled this stunt on me, I'd seriously consider leaving them. So if you value your girlfriend and want to stay with her, get your insecurity together and have a real talk about what her paintings mean to her. You never ever get to decide what she does with her body in her own home. And now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below. And our next story is from a throwaway account. Am I the arsehole for losing it after my wife wanted my daughter to stop using the bathroom in the house? My wife and I have been together for 3 years. I have a daughter from my previous marriage. She's 14. I also have a stepson who tends to be rude at times, but civil enough around adults. He's 16. He and his stepsister get along well. No arguing, no yelling, even better than most siblings I know, which is great, and it's quite a relief to see them loving and respecting each other. We have 2 bathrooms in the house. My daughter only uses the smaller one, since it's always unavailable, unlike the main bathroom that me and my stepson and wife often use. I've recently received some money and decided to renovate the small bathroom that my daughter uses, since she complained about things needed to be fixed. I started the renovation 2 days ago, while my daughter uses the main bathroom as an alternative. There were no issues until my wife pulled me aside saying my daughter's been leaving period products inside the bathroom and it wasn't right because my stepson would see them. I asked my wife for more clarification, and it turns out my daughter gets rid of her used pads by putting them in the trash can inside the bathroom. I told my wife there was nothing wrong with that, so what's the problem? She gave me a look, called me ignorant, then dropped it. This morning she looked upset and told me my stepson went inside the bathroom after my daughter got out and probably saw her used pads in the bathroom. I asked if she meant the trash can, and it was confirmed. She then proceeded to tell me to ask my daughter to stop using the main bathroom even though the smaller one is in the process of being renovated. I absolutely lost my shit and told her she was making a ridiculously unreasonable demand. Told her it's my daughter's house too. Where is she supposed to go if she can't use both bathrooms? We started arguing back and forth until she said she had talked to her, but I told her to stop it. She just kept giving me the cold shoulder for hours now, even though my stepson said nothing about this issue as she claims it to be. My wife said she was trying to be a parent, but I treat her as an outsider to my daughter. That's not true. I might have been harsh on her, but in my opinion, she wasn't trying to be a parent, she was being unreasonable. I might be wrong, I just don't see her point. Am I the arsehole here? My wife is an incredibly private person, but that doesn't mean she can get others to follow. To answer your question, the trash can we have has a lid. It's a step-on trash can that doesn't require hands. My stepson isn't even aware of what his mum's talking about. He can barely look around, he always has his phone glued to his face and he doesn't pay attention to anything. And we'll start off with Unlucky Profession on this one saying, and quoting, my wife said she was trying to be a parent but I treat her as an outsider to my daughter. And then says, she was trying to parent the wrong kid. Daughter didn't leave the used products on the toilet tank or seat, it was in the trash. Wife should use this as a good teaching moment for her son. Not the arsehole, and good on you. And Jane Wilson says, not the arsehole, her son lives in a world which people who menstruate exist. He's gonna have to deal with it. There's nothing wrong with him seeing a box of tampons or pads. I would say, if you don't have a bin with a lid, I'd advise getting one. Much nicer for bathroom bins to have lids. Used pads should also get wrapped up in the next pad's wrapper or some sort of toilet paper, mainly because this stops them from sticking to the side of the bin. Your daughter having her period is totally natural and shouldn't be relegated to another bathroom because of it. What does your wife do with her products? Hide them. And Fotley says, and quotes, probably saw the used pads. And it says, you should clarify that because if he saw them, it means he went through a trash can in the bathroom till he found a used pad and then proceeded to get traumatized, which means he is kind of crazy. If he didn't saw them, it means your wife thought he went through a trash can in the bathroom, found them and got PTSD upon sight, which makes her kind of crazy. Then there's the question of where is your daughter supposed to piss and shit while the second bathroom is being restored? And last question of what does your wife do with her used pads to prevent any form of trauma on your stepson? Does she have a special lockbox where she keeps them? An incinerator? We want to know. Not the arsehole, by the way. And CK Bruin fan says, not the arsehole, your wife is unreasonable. And it says, my son might see a natural thing. Like, get over yourself. Now, I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? Let me know in the comments below. Now, once again, guys, thank you for being here today. Thank you for joining me for a story or two, getting involved with the channel, being on Twitter, Discord, YouTube, you know the drill. Thank you so much for being you. I'm very thankful to each and every one of you for doing exactly what you're doing right now, just listening. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Much love.